Hi everyone, today let's solve Leetcode question called minimum size subarray sum. So in this question, we'll find the minimum length of subarrays that have sums greater or equal to target. So you see example 1 here where target equal to 7. And this subarray in this array, so we get 4, 3, which has minimum length under the problem constraint. And in this example 2, our target is 4, right? And our number is 1, 4, 4. So either this 4 or this 4 can satisfy this constraint. And in the final example, we have target equal to 11, but here we only had 8 or 1. So even if we sum up all these numbers, the total is still smaller than target. This means we cannot finish the task and we have to return 0 as the length. Okay, now I think the problem description is quite straightforward. So for this kind of minimum length or subarray problem, I would prefer the sliding window approach, which I'll explain using a graphical drawing here. So let's reuse example 1 and draw a graph out here. Okay, this example 1, we have 2, 3, 1, 2, and 4, 3. And our target is 7, right? So I write the array here, and sorry, this should be target, not total. And target should be 7. Okay, so for this kind of sliding window approach, since our objective to find the minimum length, the primary thing to initialize the minimum length and the current length. Okay, so let's write out here as the minimum length. Let's initialize at plus infinity. So every time that is the minimum length, it will decrease to a specific target. And let's initialize current length, which is 0. And besides, we also need total, right? So this is integer sum, which we'll use it to compare with the target. Okay, so we have total. Okay, now we should initialization. The next thing to build a sliding window using 2 pointers. So let's initialize the sliding window at this position. We have left pointer here and also right pointer at this position. Okay, now finish the initialization. Next thing to calculate total, right? Let's see total is 2, since we only have one number here. And 2 is smaller than 7, so I have to keep moving the right pointer to next position to search for bigger total. So move right to here. And now our total is 5, right? 5 is still smaller than 7, so we keep going. Now we move right to this 1. And even if we add this 1, we get only 6, so still smaller. We have to go further. So now I move right to this 2. If we move right to this 2, we find, okay, our total is 8, so this means we have satisfied the requirements, right? Because 8 is greater or equal to 7. If that case, the first thing to update the current length, minimum length. So you see current length here is 4. And minimum length should also update it from plus infinity to 4. And once we finish the updates, next thing to move the left pointer to check the next pair, right? But before that, we have to deduct the total by the left pointer node. So 8 minus 2 will get this 6. And then we'll move this left pointer to the next position. Left pointer is now here. Okay, now finish that, which okay, total is smaller than 7, right? So I have to keep moving the right pointer to search for bigger values on the right direction. So move right pointer to next position. And if we move right pointer to this 4, our total is now 10. If the 10 is greater than or equal to 7, we have to update the length and move the left pointer. The length here is still 4, so no need to update. And let's deduct total by the left. The total is now 7. And let's move left to the next position. The left is now 1. Okay. Now I want to check. Okay, total is still greater than equal to 7, right? So we have to keep moving the left pointer, but before that we have to update the current length. So change this to 3 and this also to 3. Okay. Now finish that. Let's deduct total by the left value. So change this 7 to 6. And then we move the left pointer. So left pointer is now here, right? And at this step, we want the okay total is smaller than 7. This means we have to move the right pointer. Move right pointer to this position. And then recalculate total. So the new total is 9 now. But 9 is greater than or equal to 7. So we have to update our current and minimum length. You see the current minimum length here is still 3, right? So no need to update. And next thing to deduct the total by the left. So total here is 7, and move the left pointer. So left pointer is moved to this position. And at this position, we found okay 7 is greater than or equal to 7, right? So we have to keep updates the minimum and current length. You see the current length here 2. So minimum length should be also updated to 2. And here you see both left pointer and right pointer has reached the end already, so we cannot move the left pointer to the next position, right? So I will have to stop at here. And you see, when we stop this entire search, we find our minimum length is 2. This means it has updated somewhere from plus infinity, right? So the only thing you want to do is to return this minimum length, which is 2, and we are done. Okay, I think the explanation will make sense. And now let's dive into the coding part. Okay, so first let me write the Arduino framework for this problem. Okay, so move right pointer and while the size and move left pointer. Okay, the first thing as I mentioned before is to initialize current length, which is 0, and minimum length we set is float plus infinity, and also the total should be initialized at 0. And want to go through the right pointer, right? So right pointer will go through the entire array. But before that, it also initialize left pointer at the starting position. Okay. Now finish that. Next thing to add the numbers at right pointer to total. For total add plus numbers dot right. And after that, you see while total is greater than target, this means we have already satisfied requirement and we want to update the window size, right? And then move the left pointer. So the first thing to check current length equal to right and left plus 1. And the minimum length is the minimum between the previous minimum length and the current length. And after that, we want to deduct the total. Deduct total as numbers of that and move left to next point. And finally, if our let's say the minimum length is not float infinity, this means we have already updated the value at somewhere, and this means okay, this requirement is satisfied. So we only need to return minimum length. Otherwise, if the minimum length still float infinity, this means we have not updated the minimum length at this step, and this means okay, the total greater than equal to target not satisfied, and the task is not completed, right? So I have to return 0. Okay, now let's meet the code to see it works. Okay, you see the time capacity and memory usage of this solution is not bad, right? And overall, I think the coding part is very easy to understand. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I see you next time. Thanks.